Let's have a little excitement in the shop today. We are going to put this nice big Wynn environmental MERV filter onto our JET dust collector and collect some dust. Stand by. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm James, and today we are going to be finishing this dust collector project. You may or may not have been following this. I purchased this for a ridiculously low amount of money. It was missing some parts, so we made some parts. We made this support bracket that goes onto each side. And we are in the process of finishing up the conversion from this 5 micron dust pumper filter to a Wynn environmental MERV 10 cartridge filter. And that moves us into improving the air quality here in the shop, because these are these are great chip collectors. You know, chips, the small things, you know, this stuff. These are great for collecting chips. The little fine stuff, the floaties, not so good. They're known as dust pumpers because you can see, if this is backed up against a wall, you will see where particularly along the seams where the dust just comes out, goes floating up into the air, goes into your lung meats. Life's not good. So we're doing away with this cloth bag that collects the chips underneath. We're doing away with this cloth bag that sits up top. And what we're doing is we're putting in one of these. I'll go ahead and I'll take these clips off and I'll show you what we have to make. We are not changing the way that that this functions. When we turn this on, our particulate matter is going to come into this hole where this big blower is. It's going to come up through this ram's horn, and some of it's going to go to this way, some of it's going to come around to this way. And then we're going to enter the Cyclone generating apparatus. All of our particulate matter comes into the Cyclone and then is introduced into this swirly thing. And what happens is the chips, the heavier stuff, will actually fall down into the bag. The lighter stuff will continue to get drawn up vertically into the air column, and in the case of the dust pumper bag, some of it will get caked onto the inside of the fabric. There's all kinds of physics involved with the efficiency of fabric materials and you know, filter media, and we're not going to go into that, but just suffice it to say that it gets difficult. But then the filtered air, depending on the level of filtration, goes out through the bag and into the shop. So let's look at we only have to make a couple of modifications to this so that we can use this big pleated cartridge filter. I'm not sure if the mic is picking it up or not, but it is windy like a windy thing today. So I'm going to take our media cartridge off, and what we have to do is, let's take this off. A couple of things. Number one, we need to install these brackets in your kit. I'll put the part number down. The part number that I ordered may or may not be the part number that you need. In the kit, you get the brackets, the screws, the clips on the back, And what this is going to allow us to do is to clip into the bottom, this ring here, and then clip onto our cartridge and pull that down. We're also going to install a gasket. Wynn Environmental sells these gaskets as well. There's a piece of metal up inside this little clip here, this little U channel. So that is going to clip onto the edge of this ring, and that gives us a gasket with which we can seal up. And then what we're going to make is a donut, is what it is traditionally called. And it gives us a shelf to sit our cartridge filter on. The bag filters, they actually hang from a rod, which was lost at some point in time before I acquired this unit. As part of one of the reasons we got it for so cheap is it was missing a whole bunch of parts. And so we're going to make this donut for our cartridge filter to sit on. Then the filter goes on top here. The filter has a foam gasket on the bottom. And then it just clips in. And then we can tighten that down. The other modification that we're going to do, there is a spring ring, tension ring, you call it whatever you want to, that is supposed to go onto the inside of this. There's a detent where this little spring retainer ring fits on the inside and is supposed to hold these plastic bags. They were, I don't know, 26 bucks a piece. And what we decided to do was to basically make our own giant hose clamp, and we're going to affixate this bag to the outside. I've got a piece of shelf liner, a tool drawer liner that I've used as a cushion, and hopefully we'll be able to reuse these bags quite a bit. So let's get our first things first. Let's get our donut cut out. I've already cut the rough shape out on the bandsaw. So what we have is a circle cutting jig, and you affixate this rotation point. This is going to slip into this, and then you can make your adjustments however you need to. So then I've just got a straight cut router bit in there, a little 1/4 inch bit. We're just going to score a line, lower it, score a line, lower it, score a line, lower it. Nothing real exciting. And that's how you make a donut. So now we're going to go mount our little spring clip brackets, and then the position of those will determine where we make some little cutouts in the side, so that our clamps are not, making this weird kind of angle. I guess now's as good a time as any to talk about these filters. As I said, they're from Wynn Environmental, and this is the MERV 10 flavor. When you order this kit, you will get an envelope with some stuff in it. The stuff is, you get a couple, 2 of those big bags, and you will get a mounting kit. And that kit has got these 4 funky little clamps in it, and it has 4 brackets, 4 little clips, 4 stainless screws, a sticker, and some instrucciones. This particular model of filter that I have ordered is capped, and that means that it has a lid on the top. Now you can also order these without You know, the top of this will be open, so if you have the space, the need, the capability, you can stack these things up and multiply your filter capacity, because these have got, it is a closed top MERV 10 80-20 blend filter media, so that means that it is paper and I don't know if it's a nylon or, you know, a woven poly something or another. Filter square area is 274 square feet of filter area. There is no inner cage for this. Those gaskets, I think those gaskets are 25 bucks a piece. So I drilled these holes with just an 8-inch bit as they suggest. Once you get it started, then you can put this little clip on the back side, and then get it cinched up, and then give her a good cranky yank. Go. Now sometimes your screw placement can be an adventure based on where it falls in relation to this ramp. So this one is going to be kind of ugly, I think. All right. I just had to tuck that fastener up underneath that ramp. So, yeah, we're good to go there. So now I just went ahead with a marker and I marked out where I'm going to cut some little grooves in here, just some relief holes. Make sure that angle on that isn't too severe. And then we're going to put our gasket on. And it is, it's a gasket. Come on. Press fit, and then we'll trim it up at the end. There we go. So now when we put our donut on, we got a nice squishy gasket to seal the top of that. So now I'm just going to take a jigsaw and cut these little relief holes here. Some of these tabs, I kind of straighten the angle out a little bit. Again, just to kind of reduce that angle there. I am not putting the heave hoe on these because all we're really trying to do is to just keep the thing from launching once we turn the blower on. So this is kind of a cool thing. I was not aware that you could do this before. This is from a company called Steel Soft, and it is a make your own length stainless steel band clamp, hose clamp, whatever you want to call it. And then you get a big honk and roll of this. So we need 72-ish inches. See what I mean? Whatcha! So something that you should pay attention to is which direction you put this in, because if you put it backwards, then you're going to have to drill things or turn things backwards to get it to tighten up, and then your friends will make fun of you. Luckily, they provide these things called instructions, which make things a lot more easier for you to follow. And then I'm gonna grind off the sides of these so that I'm not stabbing myself. So a couple of things to take note of. These bags are designed to fit inside this ring. Notice what I said, inside this ring, which is not where I'm putting it. We're putting it on the outside, and you have to kind of stretch it oh so gently. And again, this is all because I did not want to pay another 50 bucks or whatever it was for the rings to fix it internally. We're going to take our pad, for lack of a better word, and this is just held on by tape until we can get this hose clamp, band clamp, whatever clamp. And now we start the really fun part, which is wrapping this band clamp around here. So what I'm going to do is push the record button, and I'm going to say everything that I just got done saying a second time. I have put on this adapter, this blower or sucker housing, I'm not sure which one it is at this point, has an 8-inch inlet, and what this does is this takes 8 inches and it splits it into 3 4-inch inlets. I have taped the caps onto onto 2 of them, because I'm not going to use them, and the caps, they tend to fall off when there is no suction applied. We're going to wheel it back into the position that it's in. We're going to get it hooked back up to our nice nifty relocated 230 3-phase outlet. We'll open up our big box of hose, and then we'll go from there. All right, I got my fancy new hose connected with one of these turnkey screws. Guess it would help if I could see what I'm doing here. This is a Fulton product. The hose is a Fulton. Those are made in the States. I don't know if these clamps are made in the States or not. But instead of having to use a nut driver, you can actually just use your Mark 1 Mod 1 fingers. So let's get the phase converter cranked up and the machine turned on, and let's see how she sucks. All right, success. So you can see we're collecting. I'll have to look at the footage and see if you get any of the spinny around action from the Cyclone itself. So, all right, we're working. So that was $125 for the unit. It was with shipping and everything, let's call it $400 for filters and hoses and miscellaneous fittings. So we're into this $600, $550, something like that. Not bad. For something that retails for a lot more than that. So now we get to start thinking about how do we set this thing up, because we have a couple of different locations we are going to want to work with. So of course the number one place that we're going to want some of this lovely dust collection action going on is here at the chop saw. And there I've got two drill presses. The one, the Ryobi closer to us, I try to use that one predominantly for woodworking, and try to leave the bigger Amrocs, the pedestal one, for other such endeavors. And then the other place that we're really going to look for some dust collection is kind of here in the middle, and this is what turns into the bandsaw area, the table saw area, the sander area, all these different machines. Usually when I'm using them, they kind of live here in the center of this side of the room. And then we have to come up with something for this beast, the Sydney bandsaw, which is just, it's just waiting its turn. So anyways, that's what we got going. That was, it took us a while to get there, but we're there. We finally got us a big boy, chip collector and a dust filter. So, we'll keep protecting the lung meats, and, I'm probably still going to wear a mask when we're doing stuff, because I have seen people in the hospital on death's door because they couldn't breathe for one reason or another, and that is a miserable, miserable existence. And so we'll do what we have to do to prevent that from happening. Anyways, I'm James. This is the RATTLECAN Fab Shop. You guys have a good one. Cheers. I hope you found this episode educational or entertaining, or maybe even both. You might want to check this one out as well. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell to be notified when new videos drop, and if you got comments, make sure you put them down beneath the sermon notes. Thanks for hanging out with us here at the RATTLECAN Fab Shop. Y'all have a good one. Cheers.